is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Top 100, and this is it. This is finally the last segment for our first Top 100. Have you ever done this before, actually?
Top 100s?
Yeah.
Not Top 100.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, Top 10 is, I've done a bunch of times. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm excited, because obviously I was shocked on the last one, so I was like, I don't remember anything about this one. So, I will start this one.
Yep.
And my number 10 is... the best Lord of the Rings game out there, War of the Ring, is...
That was going to be
Yep. War of the Ring is a phenomenal iteration of Lord of the Rings, and it kind of does that hypothetical where, oh, well, what if, you know, Aragorn stayed with the company, or what if, you know, Legolas did go to the elves, and just, you get that thematic representation of hypotheticals, which I, love about it. A lot of people talk about the Battle of the Five Armies game. They're like, oh, that beats War. No, it doesn't. First of all, The Hobbit sucks. And two, it's just, Battle of Five Armies kind of did that same thing that Kemet did, where it was, it was all about just, oh, combat. And I'm like, it's boring and it's unbalanced. Anyway, War of the Ring throws in also that element of the epic battles from, you know, Gondor and Mordor, as well as you have the Fellowship trying to make it to Mount Doom. Oh my god. So this game just, I love Lord of the Rings, and this gives me that same feel with also the expansions that come with the game, which just add in, you know, other characters, Elrond and Galadriel and Treebeard, and then also the Balrog is now a character you can play as, and just a bunch of different what-ifs, and man, I can't praise this game enough. I have played both sides as well, the Free Peoples and the Shadow, and the Free Peoples is meant to feel like you're losing, but they're pretty strong as well, because how they win is they just have to get 4 points of combat, whereas the Shadow People have to get 10, but that's because the Shadow People have an unlimited amount of army, whereas the Free Peoples lose people for the rest of the game. But the Free Peoples can also go into strongholds, which make it a pain in the ass to try and take over. So you have that. Then there's also, well, the Fellowship wins, or the Free Peoples win if, you know, the Fellowship makes it to the actual final space on Mount Doom and throw the ring in. But that's difficult too, because they have like a possession track almost. So there's that, but the Shadow People can win if they, there was another reason. Oh, if they corrupt the Fellowship.
Right.
So just this huge tug-of-war aspect of this, that both sides are equally balanced. And I really wish I had the Anniversary Edition, but it's outrageously expensive, and I'm just happy with my copy. So War of the Ring is my number 10.
All right. My number 10 is Smash Up.
I thought that was going to be your number 1.
Nope.
Wow.
Smash Up. Everybody by now probably knows what Smash Up is. Every freaking faction you can almost think of, pick 2 of them, smash them together, and you're area control to get points out in the middle at different locations.
Different combinations.
Yeah. Just got the All Things Japan one.
Oh yeah, that one is cool.
It's Our Fault is the one. The next one that's coming out, and then there's a 70s one.
What were you thinking? Is the next one?
There was What Were We Thinking? I think.
I think
What Were You Thinking was the one that had the. Or there was one of them.
Yeah, there's another one coming out called What Were We Thinking 2 or something like that.
Yeah, and then there's a 70s one.
Yeah.
That just got announced that it's going to have.
I have to have them all. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like B movies.
Something like that.
No, that's.
Yeah, it always comes with four factions, and they find some way to keep it fresh.
Yep. And I just got my Sheep faction this last week too.
AEG, what the hell? I did that survey twice.
Maybe that's why you canceled yourself out.
Like, man, he really wants the Sheep. Fuck him.
But yeah, the big geeky game box is getting pretty full of sleeved Smash Up cards.
Oh yeah, I don't sleeve them.
Yeah, I sleeve them all.
Yeah, so. Well, they have a broken token thing for it as well. But no, Smash Up is a solid game.
And the app just came out not too long ago, and it's pretty fun too.
I don't really want to play the app, but they have an app actually to decide your factions.
Yeah.
So I have that. No, this is a absolute hit with my. One of my tabletop RPG groups, that if we're not playing that, I'm like, hey, I have Smash Up, and we just love it. Actually, I've just played it. I mean, it's just the endless amount of possibilities for that game is just awesome. So yeah, it's true. Everyone does know about it. So my number 9 is a game that also has endless replayability, like 150 something races. Cosmic Encounter is my number 9. This game, if you want to talk about like on the back of the box, no two games will ever be the same. That probably has never been more true, like more true on of a statement than it comes, because at its core, it's a negotiation game. That's all it is, and just flavor it up with a different alien race that is just so wacky, so thematic with what the alien is trying to represent. But yeah, ultimately you're just trying to conquer people's planets, but negotiate your way through that, and then just abilities that throw the game for a loop. One race is called the Losers, which means if they lose in a battle, they win. Or there's another race that if you don't ally with them, then they like hold a grudge against you, and then now you either, like if they ever fight you, they get like more powerful. There was one race that Kat played where if she asked for an ally and you said no, she got to take her power card and stack it. So over time, she just got stronger. And I don't think you don't like Cosmic. You've never played it? Oh wow!
I've heard a lot of stuff about it.
I know that really John and Robert and them. I got them to play it, and they still were like, we don't like it. And I'm like, why?
Yeah,
I don't understand. Now for it to be like, it's not Tom Vassel's number 1 anymore. I could see why, because yeah, you just break out a shit ton of races and like. And you just play, and you just, hey, this is, and everyone's super OP. At this point, then when you have over 150, there are going to be ones that are better than others. But I don't know. Cosmic Encounter is a blast, and I really like negotiating. And so with that flair of alien races, it just makes it obviously a number 9 game for me. So.
I think I would enjoy trying out the Game of Thrones version of it.
I did not like the Game of Thrones one.
That theme,
right?
I would like it better.
The Iron Throne, yeah. You would say that theme, but then they also have Renly Baratheon as a Tyrell.
Really?
Yep. Interesting. I'm like, that's not a thing. So, but that was pretty much the only disconnected theme that I saw. Right. Anyway, yeah.
All right, my number 9 is another Simon game with no minis.
Ethnos?
No.
Okay,
that's unfair.
Oh, okay. Oh, that is Simon.
Yeah.
Really?
Unfair. I love that. I've been waiting for a long time. I was the prototypical guy that played Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that on computer.
Yeah.
And there's been a few board games that have come out try to do theme park stuff. This one nailed it.
It does it best.
I love it. I love that they're blatantly just coming out in their title saying you're gonna piss people off.
You don't have to though.
You don't have to, but the people that hate it because of that are morons because it's in the title.
It is. It actually says in the rule book, if people are getting upset, remind them to read the title of the game. I was like, all right, that's funny.
They have 6 factions out right now. Is that what came in the base box?
You have robots, vampires, ninjas, mobsters, jungle. I think that's it.
So 5?
I think there were 5.
All right, and well, like I told you earlier, I'm playtesting now for the expansion. It'll come out in 2018 sometime.
Yep.
So there's going to be 4 other factions. I'm not going to say which ones, but there's going to be 4 other factions that are planning on being released. That will be pretty slick, and their plan is to come out with their expansions are kind of like Smash Up. They're going to come out with 4 themes.
Oh, okay.
At a time.
Rotate it out like
that. And then that just adds, because when you play a game of this, depending on the number of players, that's how many themes get thrown smushed into the main deck. So
yeah, actually I just played this like a couple days ago. Fell flat for my neighbor.
Really?
And I still like it. I wish that the themes came out more than they do, because when you really look at them, like you have a deck, and 3/4 of that deck are just the generic upgrades, whereas the 1/4 is actual thematic to that. So I just kind of wish you could look at your theme park and be like, there's my robot attraction and my ninja one, where it's just like, oh, I have one ride that's kind of like that,
Yeah.
But other than that, no, it is a very. My favorite thing about it is that you can just be a huge dick the entire time, but you don't have
shut
to.
down the ride.
Yeah, just be like, oh, hey, and it doesn't destroy it.
No, you just
hey, you're not getting money, but if you get hosed on money early on, you're gonna get screwed the rest of the game. So,
yeah, but it's a blast. I mean, it's there's not very many games you can be mean to your kids and they'll keep wanting to play it.
Right, that's true. I hate you, Dad! Okay, well, number 9. So my number 8 is, actually this one is new to the top 10. A game that I have played now a couple times, but man, it isn't just so atmospheric, so thematic, and so strategic and tactical that I could not put it on the list. Twilight Struggle actually skyrocketed.
I want to play that sometime.
Oh my god, that is a long game.
I love history.
Yeah,
stuff,
no, if you want to, like, I learned more about the Cold War from this game than I ever did from freaking public school.
Yeah.
And one, because every card that you play in that game has a spot in the rulebook that has a like a little excerpt for history. So Twilight Struggle, if you don't know, is about the Cold War, where one person plays the USSR and the other person plays the USA, and you're vying for control through card actions that will allow you to get control in certain countries. Well, the brilliant thing about that is that you have era decks, or period decks, that you can play for, because you're not just going to have USA cards or USSR that only benefit you. You'll shuffle them together, and I can have cards that benefit you, but I can either play them for their points, but if I do that, then you're going to get the ability. So it's hand management, trying to figure out how best to, okay, yes, they're going to get this bonus, but how can I do better on my turn than what they're going to get? But sometimes, because there's also the space race, which was happening in the Cold War. First one to get to the, I think it was to get to the moon, was that. So it's like, okay, fine. Yeah, I don't want them to get this ability, so you can throw that card away to try and increase your, your space. I don't know what the USSR one, but increase NASA if you're the USA. Oh my God! But this game, there's no luck. I mean, yeah, there's kind of luck to the cards that you can get, but I think it's different to where, hey, I'll just use these for operational points to, get more influence in this area. Because ultimately, you're getting victory points, and the first one to get to 20 wins, but it's not both tracks. You're vying for the same points. So if I gain 10 points, it's going to put me at 10, but if you gain 8, it's just going to move me down to 2. So by the end of, 3 periods or whatever, I can't remember, it's whoever has the most.
So yeah, hence the struggle.
Yes, yeah, you're just like, going back and forth. Well, I did this, well, I'm doing this, and like, I think, yeah, it's just, oh my God, it is just so good. Hard to get to the table because of how long it is, but that entire time, I played it twice, and I've won once. But I didn't get to 20, I just had the most by the end of it.
Well, there's a reason it was number 1 or something.
Forever, forever, almost.
Yeah, that's one reason why I want to try it, because it stayed up there for so long.
Yeah, and for good reason. No, Pandemic Legacy does not be that, I just don't understand how.
Oh, I've talked to you about Gloomhaven.
Yeah, all of them, I mean,
maybe eventually.
Gloomhaven I could see getting number 1 over Twilight more than Pandemic Legacy, at least.
No game in 1 year, though, should jump that high.
Correct,
It should
yeah.
take a couple
It
of years.
held, that spot for a while. And for good reason. So if you're into history and you're in long games don't bother you, and you want to be ingrained into that that game the entire time, Twilight Struggle.
All right, number 8.
Memoir 44 again. It's like, what?
It's a horror game.
City of Horror?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh God. That's my number 8 game.
I'd be like, that's the why.
Granny off the water tower. Fireteam 0.
No way.
Oh, I love this game.
Oh my God. Have you ever played it since last time we played? Okay.
I've even broken out the Europe and the Africa cycle.
Nice. Okay. Have you beaten that second?
I've beaten quite a few of them.
Have you beaten the second one again?
The first one?
No, the first one.
Yeah.
Or have you just been
tried it again? Just because I know no need to. I beat it. It's good. This game it's an alternate reality World War II game.
Based off a book series, right?
Based off a book series, yes. I can't remember. I don't know if it's Fireteam 0 is the name of the book.
I think it is.
I can't remember. But anyway, and there's all this evil has manifested itself because the war's going on, and there was all this evil on Earth. So the story is that they started.
Is that what it was?
Out,
okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if it was like
that kind of was that was kind of like their welcome wagon to come up and start raising hell. So
it's Gears of War. The Locust coming up.
Yeah. World War II, Gears of War.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's different scenarios. You're doing 3 or 4 scenarios per
campaign.
enemy. Each campaign uses an enemy family.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then you move on to the next campaign, it does another enemy family, and different stuff. And there's been several expansions. This was one that a Kickstarter just finished 4 or 5 months ago for the reprint of it and stuff. It's hand management. Your hand is your life. Your cards that you play on your turn can be attack or reactions. Their cards are split in half, so you can play them as your attack to tell how many dice you're going to roll, or you can play it as reactions.
Sounds like there's another game that does the exact same thing.
But you're not playing 2 cards at once.
Yeah, so you're limited still.
We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that later. But anyway, it's pure co-op. I play it solo a lot with 3 heroes, 2 or 3 heroes, depending.
I think that game benefits strongly with more people. Was like, but no, it is a really cool theme, and God, is it hard.
It's difficult, but a co-op game should be.
No, absolutely.
We struggled. Yeah. The very, very first scenario out of the box, I don't know why they made this damn scenario the very first scenario. They should have picked another one, but I played it. I don't know how many dang times I played it with other people and couldn't beat it. And then
played with me twice because I was like, it can't be that hard.
Him and his girlfriend came over, and then she actually did the killing blow.
Yeah, we actually won with her, and she was probably like, "I guess I'll do that," and then we win.
So I don't know what happened, but anyway,
it really was the events that helped us. If we didn't get an event that flipped the stupid coin, well, and that coin is dumb.
There's a timer in the game that is at the end of the enemy's turn. There's this track. And the thing moves up, and as it moves up across the boundary lines, the enemies get tougher. So then they get more abilities and more abilities and more abilities, and it just gets brutal. So it kind of makes you have to stay together because teamwork is the golden rule in this game.
Yeah.
It's not super popular. Like it's not a game that's out there and well known a ton.
Came out on Kickstarter, man.
They didn't really do much. It went to retail just vaguely after the very first Kickstarter, just vaguely. You can buy their stuff on their websites where I bought it.
That's the problem with Kickstarter games is that they get just enough money to make their games, but they're not an actual business,
right?
So they don't put it on retail.
The plan with the second Kickstarter though is they made enough money and stuff. They're planning on going retail. Okay, is what they were saying.
I'll pick it up, definitely for sure if I can find it.
But it's top notch. I mean, I got that base box. The base box was like $100, and I stole it from a guy for like $35 shipped.
Damn.
So I mean, and then that's what got me hooked, and I bought all the expansions.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I did like it. I do like that hand management. The only thing I don't like is that coin.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing.
Well, and that could be something that card can just be taken out of that deck too.
That's true. You could,
because in those expansions you get more cards going to that deck.
Okay.
So I mean, if that is such a deal breaker, just take that.
Take that card out. Fair enough.
Because you die enough in that game too.
It's true. So all right, my number 7. You talked about it last segment. Yep.
Goodness gravy. Champions Midgard.
No, that's my number 2. It's Blood Rage. Yeah. Blood Rage is my number 7. This game is just absolute, almost perfection with the different ways that you can play, and they're all balanced. I love the Viking theme, does that really well. I have the Kickstarter edition, so I have all the factions, I have all the premium tokens, I have all the cards, I have all the monsters and stuff. Just being able to sit there and card draft and be like, okay, well, this is how I want to go. In any really way you want to build your clan. I've heard people complain that they wish the clan started out with an innate ability, but I'm like, well, that's what the card drafting is.
Yeah.
You have more freedom with that. Because if you had an ability, it would guide you, which is fine. That's a valid, hey, that's what I want. But with Blood Rage, the neat aspect is to build your own clan, to try and be the best out there, and area control, but also it's really cool because it's not all about, hey, I'm stronger. Like the Loki strategy is just awesome because it's like, oh no, I lost.
I want to lose.
Oh look, I'm getting 80 points because all my people are coming in. And each era, there's 3. Like you can you get points if you're in the area because it's honorable to die during Valhalla, or not during Valhalla, during Ragnarok. So the board gets tighter and tighter, which kind of what Komet said, forces you to start fighting each other.
The way I always racked up points on that was I would always make it a point to get Fenrir.
Oh,
and then I would get as many people in there as I want, and people would be going for Ragnarok, and then Ragnarok always happens where he's at.
Yep.
So then I would just lose a bunch of people and I'd bring them back at the end.
Yeah, no, because Fenrir, he's a Kickstarter exclusive. But I have him. Yeah, no, he's awesome. But then also, and that's what because I would almost say the Loki strategy can be OP if you can get it, but Fenrir omits that.
Well, unless you use them too.
Well, unless you get Fenrir, then you're just like,
then you get the points from that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I double dip.
Gotcha. No, it's awesome. Like it's just so good. So yeah, number 7.
All right, my number 7, Flying Frog Games.
Shadows of
Brimstone. There is so much to this game. So much to this game, and I just have
so much roll to move to this game.
I just have, well, and there's a lot of variants that people come up with. I don't mind the roll to move personally, but
it's just funny. Like people just throw that in like it's an insult. It's like roll to move. That means it's garbage.
Yeah, but
it is.
There, it uses a. It's kind of Cthulhu-y. They get a lot of their influence from
Western
that and
Cthulhu.
from other stuff.
Yeah.
But there's
at least
so much crap. Like you go through the missions, and then you go through, and a portal may pop up. You go through a portal, and you can pop into a whole freaking another world. You get they have all these big box expansions. You may go to Tradera. You may go to the derelict ship. You may go to the caverns of Sindar. You know, I mean and then you just have encounters with, and there's so many times throughout the plays of these that I'll have pictures. You know, there's like us 4 little guys right here, and then we're just surrounded by like just tons of them.
And you're a badass.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're powerful. And, and you can manage to get out of it sometimes. Our little band that we have on our campaign, we have the saloon girl that Chad called Ronda Rousey.
Oh,
so that's her name. And then I'm a Mexican bandito. Okay. I have dynamite in this hand and a pistol in this hand, and his name's Paco El Taco.
Oh my god.
And then
freaking racist.
And then, well, the funniest one is Denton, because he has the little orphan character.
Okay.
But he broke the arm off before we played the very first game.
Why?
So he's into the glue.
Oh, okay. I want this character.
But he's never put it back on. So now he's the one-armed orphan.
That's funny.
But see, what happens in this game is you get there's corruption, and if you get enough corruption, then you roll the dice on it, and there's a chart that'll say what mutation you get.
Yeah.
Well, he grew a tentacle arm.
Oh, okay,
and
that's
too.
cool.
So, you know, and a lot of the mutations are actually good. You know, they actually help you.
Mm-hmm.
I have horns, so I can't wear hats. My character, and I think I have a third arm growing out of my chest, so I can have an extra weapon.
Cool.
You know, I mean, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you go to the town after you do your adventure. You can go to the town and buy stuff, and there's constantly encounters.
I thought that town thing was really cool.
Well,
that chart stuff was awesome.
Well, there's the expansion called the Frontier Town that actually adds where you can choose to go to a small town, a medium town, or a large town, and there's so much more, and the events are more, and there's so many enemy expansions that just add to it, because there's just random, you just draw, and that's the enemy that pops out, you know, so, I mean, if you have everything, you have a stack of enemy cards, probably this thick, and they're big cards, you know, that tell you all their abilities, and then the next Kickstarter for it will be out here probably in 2018, and it's a samurai Asian themed.
That's cool.
Really cool. It's just infinite.
Yeah. The one thing I didn't really care for was like the upgrades and stuff you got for weapons and stuff. They didn't have really cards for. So you actually have to write it all down.
Yeah.
And that's just typical Flying Frog, just that clunkiness.
Yeah.
Like you could have made this a lot more It's not streamlined as much, but I think where they make up for that is how much content there is.
Just beware, you have to glue everything together.
Yep, that's another thing. That's like you're doing their job for them. So, but you're also paying a shit.
Fit in the box if it was all glued together.
That's fair. It doesn't fit in the box after you glue it all together. So it's like at least I don't know. But all right, number 7. My number 6 is a game you actually mentioned already.
Today?
Yep. Well, yes, today. This segment.
Well, I mean this segment. Smash Up?
Smash Up.
All right.
Smash Up is my number 6. I think it was. I don't think it was in the top 10 last time we did it, but I have played it more and more, and I have no complaints with it.
It's wonderful.
Like there is, I honestly believe there is no combination of factions you can do that suck. Like because most people are like, oh, the ninjas are awful, and I'm like, no, they're not.
They have their strengths.
I'm like, they're like, oh, by the way, sneak attack, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like I had one of my games, and I had sharks and Munchkin elves. And I was like, once I got that, I was like, this is gonna suck, and I loved it. I was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
And my friend he's like looking across the table at me like, all pissed off because he's like, you said it was gonna suck. I'm like, come on, sharks, and freaking.
I mean, they'll never. I mean, they can come out with anything.
Yeah, like, hey, by the way, here's the table. Like board games are one now.
It's just ridiculous.
And the latest, the Japan one, they did, and see, because it's like, okay, well, they're just adding factions. No, they actually changed it to where you can get like the Power Rangers one, where you can get like the Megazord. I don't know. I never really watched Power Rangers, but your track, your little divider, actually has a powerful beast that you can get into the game. I think that's really cool. So they're just constantly coming out with these innovative ideas for this game. I don't know who the team is for Smash Up, but they need to, they're doing it right.
Well, and I'll tell you what, another thing they do really well is they rely on the community too, because they'll constantly
do the survey.
Have tournaments. Because remember they had a tournament a couple years ago. They actually had a tournament.
Okay.
Where they would it was like March Madness. They had 2 factions, and then they'd do votes, and the winner that would move on to the next round.
Okay.
And they went down to the final 4, and those were the 4 that were in one
Yeah.
I think that was the first. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
I think that was the first.
I remember that now.
And then they have
the survey.
The surveys and stuff.
I think, let's see, what was it? One of them was Samurai was high, Viking was high.
Yeah.
Disease, I think, was that your?
That was the one
that was
I
your
wanted, but
right
it didn't get.
Yeah. So they just, oh my god, it's just so fun. And then they have a lot of pop culture references, just off the wall thing. Like I have a friend, he had geeks, and he was cracking up with every card because there was a lot of magic references.
Oh yeah.
And so Smash Up is just
great.
And here's the thing, it's one of those games that scales. I wouldn't say really scales too well. 2 just kind of gets too boring. But it's one of those games that 3 is like the perfect amount. Yeah,
that's what.
It's awesome. So Smash Up, my number 6.
All right, my number 6. I don't know if you said this one yet or not. I know you like it. Imperial Settlers. I'm not sure if you've done that.
I think it was in my 30.
So Imperial Settlers is my number 6.
Next time we do this, I'm actually just going to keep a list. I'm going
I'm
to do this, but I'm going to keep a list and
Yeah.
compare them now.
Yeah.
Kind of, I'm going to do the vassal thing, and just so I can look at it and be like, oh, I think it's.
But yeah, Imperial Settlers.
Wow. Number 6.
Super game.
I knew you were going to talk about it. I didn't think it would be this high.
My family loves it. It's got an awesome solo mode. They keep putting out expansions for it. The little box expansions aren't super.
Why Can't We Be Friends? I like the Threes Company.
But the big boxes adding the new factions are the big ones. Aztecs. I haven't played with the Aztecs yet.
I haven't either. Have you done the Atlanteans?
Yes,
they're cool.
Yeah, they are. I like the Japanese. The Japanese is who I always end up with because my family and everybody.
No one wants them because they're stupid.
I take the Japanese.
I'm sure since you've played them a lot, that's how you know they're good.
Yeah.
I've played against them twice, and I was just like, I just don't. That game, why I like it so much is because you can't get your faction's buildings demolished.
Right.
But if you're Japan, you can. And I was like, why would you want that?
Yeah, and the thing is 51st State Master Set was on my list.
Yeah,
a while back.
40s, I think.
If it comes out with big box expansions, it can be right up here.
You think?
Because I like that theme. Apocalyptic theme, and that game's pretty cool. I mean, the art's really neat. But as far as the cutesy art, with the family gets into it, everybody loves it.
Each faction feels different.
Yes,
you still have your base. Oh, hey, I also have your generic buildings that everyone can have. But yeah, like the Egyptians are all about gold and controlling other people's fucking faction, and it's like, I hate you. I remember Rado, because he's the one that I watched whenever first. He said it was mean. I'm like, maybe in 2 players, but I'm like, no, I think it's one of the least mean civ building games because it's like you can't destroy
stuff.
Oh, if you destroy this, that sucks. But at least I get a resource,
Yeah.
and the hand management is awesome. With I can use this to build, or I can use it to trade.
Yeah.
And then the Why Can't We Be Friends allows you to, hey, I'm going to go and get some resources from you. Kind of does that 7 Wonders fact. So that's a good one. Number 6, nice. My number 5 is the best Amatigo game out there. Inish is actually my number 5 game of all time. I don't like Komet, as you guys know now. I don't like Cyclades. I like Cyclades more than I like Komet. But Inish just did everything right for me. Like that same tug of war, that art, oh my god, that artwork is awesome. But that area control is just fantastic, you know, so you have your own clan that you're trying to control these areas, and each area has their own special ability card if you control it. On top of, so if you get that, but then you're trying to meet 2 out of 3 objectives. Control 6 or more areas, or not control, be in 6 or more areas, control more, oh shit, what are they called? They're the brown cities.
Yeah.
Or be over, you know, I think it was like 6 or more people. If you meet 2 of those, on your turn you say, oh, I'm winning, and all you can do on your turn is announce a token, which now becomes that, hey, let's screw him over, and people, so you're trying to time it right where you believe that no one can affect you, to where once it comes back to you, if you still meet those 2 objectives, then you win. I think that is a brilliant mechanic, and whenever I've done a run through for Inish. I've actually done a run through for all of my top 10s except for Twilight Struggle so far. So check all those out. But Inish, every one of us had a chance to win. It was never like, oh, the Seth's gonna win. Like, you know, it was at one point we were looking at the board and I was like, oh my God, Cat will win. But not only that, so you also have epic, not epic spell cards, epic cards, epic tail cards that can trigger and that you can use on your turn that are just really OP as well. So, I don't know, the theme I think is really cool, that Celtic kind of theme. The artwork's amazing. The fact that everyone almost has, like, you don't have, like, you card draft, which is awesome, and they have dual abilities, you know, the icon, hey, you move or you can attack with that, but you also have the other ability. But each turn you take all the cards and you remove one, then you shuffle and deal them out. And it's just like, everyone's gonna almost have access to every single card, and if you are holding it, you have, not perfect knowledge, but limited knowledge, where it's like, okay, I don't have this, it could be that one, but someone, okay, I may not attack him because I think he has that.
Right.
So, it's just brilliant. Have you played Inish?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't played it enough to argue the points, though.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, that's why I'm just kind of...
Fair enough. You're just like,
I like it better after playing it the one time.
I see. Okay.
It's probably it's one of those you need to play more.
Fair enough. Yes, that is true. I will agree with you there.
All right, my number 5 will be short and sweet. It's 7 Wonders.
Damn it! I don't know what your number 1 is anymore. I was like, it's not Smash Up. It has to be 7 Wonders.
7 Wonders, just like I was talking about with 7 Wonders Duel earlier. This is my wife's absolute favorite game. We've played it
still. How often do you play games with your wife? Because I know you play a lot of solo.
It used to be, we used to do one night a week.
Okay.
The family. It's gotten to be about once every 2 weeks now.
I see. Okay.
Just, I mean, it just depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
What the stuff's going, but just like tomorrow is going to be a whole game day for the family and stuff.
Cool.
But no, 7 Wonders is just a blast. It is the quintessential card drafting game as far as, you know, the symbology will be a little bit to get used to for a new player, but once they got it, I mean, it's just like everybody grabs a card, down. Everybody grabs a card, down.
Yeah.
And the reason this game is marvelous is because you can play it with 7 players, and a 7-player game takes the exact same amount of time.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
You know, and that's how...
That is true.
I mean, because everybody...
Unless you have one out of the 7 who is AP.
Well, that's true. But, I mean, everybody draws a card, puts it down, and reveal it, you pass them. And, I mean, so it's just so fluid.
Yeah.
And you're only interacting with the people to your left and right, which makes sense because you're a world, so you're not going to deal with the people that live on the other side of the continent,
right.
You know. And
I see why you say that with thematic purposes. I don't like that personally because it's like, well, then why would I have all you here? Oh, if that person, you know, player number 4 doesn't, no matter what he does, it will not affect me directly. Right. I guess technically, indirectly, the cards that come back to me. But it's like, so it's like, hey, I'm gonna have 6 people over. 4 of you I don't care about, you know. So, but yeah, I mean
that's how the world works too. If you think about it.
And I don't care about half the world.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't give a crap what that country over there is doing.
Yeah.
You know.
But in a game setting, I like to strategize
Right.
to beat everyone at the table.
Oh, yeah.
Not just, I guess I'll do better than hopefully these two.
Right.
So
anyway, that's it. It's wonderful. All the
Yep.
expansions.
It is a good point that 7 people, because if you a 7-player game, it's like, all right, we're going to be here a while. So, all right. Number 4 is a new game that came out this year that is just fantastic. I don't think you've played it. It actually works best as a solo game, and it's this War of Mine.
Nope, haven't played it
This
yet.
War of Mine, number 4.
I know about it.
Oh my god! So this War of Mine was actually a video game before. I actually don't really care for the video game. I think it's just too blah. But this War of Mine has that gritty, dark feel that you're not fighting the war. You are the civilians and the result of war. That they just made so enriching in this that every action you feel like you're just not doing enough. You're just trying to solely survive through the war in this war-torn city, that you actually have moral decisions that you're going to make. So the game flows really well. So what they do is they have a journal book, and like at the end, how they did it to where more people can play is like, oh, for this phase, I'm going to do this, and I pass it to you, then you do the next phase. So you make all the decisions for that, then it just goes around. It is cooperative, so ultimately, yeah, you will discuss, but you don't have to. It's like, okay, well, encounter phase, action phase, I'm going to do this. And because that's just, I think it works best solo. But what they did, here's a weird thing about this game, is when you start, you don't know all the rules. When they wanted you to be able to open the box and immediately grab that journal book and play. And as you play, through encounters and through decisions you make and through the way the game flows, you get more information. And now you're like, oh, and I didn't know I can do that, now I can do it. I think it's more cool in theory, because it's like, yes, anyone can just start playing this game, experienced gamer or not, and that's what's awesome about it. But ultimately, it's like, well, I want to, I need to know how to play this game. The encounters are amazing. The big book of scripts to where you're going, and you feel like if you want to play, to win the game, yeah, you're just gonna be like, oh, it's fuck those kids. I'm gonna steal the resources. Oh, they died. All right, well. It's the game, but a lot of players will try and role play it out and be like, oh my god, this is so hard, and they did that theme right. The actions that you take are very streamlined. You're trying to build up your house, get resources from going out during the night phase to go scavenge areas, to have encounters, potential encounters, because you don't always go through the book. It's not like every time you go. It's if a certain card gets drawn that tells you which number to go to, depending on the location and stuff. Yep, and you're just trying to manage the health of your people. Everyone, because you don't control a certain person. Everyone controls the 4 or 5,
right.
4 people, up to 4. And so they can become miserable, and then that will affect things, and they become depressed or sick or wounded. And so that just kind of like, oh man, it's just brilliant. It's a brilliant game, man. So that's why it's my number 4.
My number 4 is Marvel Legendary.
Really?
Yes, I love the Marvel Legendary system. I love Marvel superheroes. It's got infinite replayability because there's so many schemes, so many heroes.
I saw a picture of someone's whole collection, and I was like,
yeah, I have. That's the thing with mine. Like, I have every Marvel Legendary card that's out. They're all sleeved, and I printed off little things off of BGG that they've made, like little tab dividers.
Oh, dividers.
That has their
names,
skills, the skill symbols in each one. So you have it labeled, and it takes up the whole core set box, the villains core set box, and 2 of the large box expansions.
Wow.
So 4 boxes full of sleeves.
Are they still releasing stuff too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
The Spider-Man Homecoming just came out like
wow.
a month ago or so. And they're still pumping.
Bring that next weekend.
You want to play Marvel Legendary, huh?
I do.
Have you ever played it?
No. No.
Yes.
That's a lot of shit to haul. So if
I will. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I
got an SUV.
Your car door opens and all just flies out.
Yeah. But no, that's all I'm really going to say about it. It's been out for several years now.
Is this your box standard deck building? I don't know anything about it. I just know there's a shit.
really quick. You're going to have a supervillain that's going to tell you what hero groups and stuff to put into the bad guy deck.
Okay.
And then you
is
go
it
through and
cooperative?
choose.
Is this semi?
It's semi. I play it co-op.
Okay.
It's semi in that at the end of the game, whoever has the most points of bad guys.
That's right. Yeah.
So I'm just like, I play it full co-op.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult enough that way.
Okay.
So you get create the bad guy deck, and
Okay.
it sets here, and then at the beginning of each person's turn, there's 5 city spots.
Okay.
And then it moves over.
Yeah,
And if you
it's
don't
right.
kill them before they escape, then you have to KO somebody out of the
That's
hero
right.
deal.
Okay.
And
Yep.
some schemes are like, there's so many different schemes, like the stories. So if 5 villains escape, you lose the game. Or
That's right. Okay.
Just whatever. And then you pick any 5 heroes out of the whole deal, and you smash those up, and then
Okay.
that's things you can buy.
Okay.
Because there's 2 values on the cards you play. There's attack value and purchase value.
Okay.
And then you do that. And some of the later sets actually have where you can work together. Like I can give you some influence on my stuff or whatever. And
now, are the villains or the heroes, are they thematic with their cards? Or is
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it gets
So remember, I think you said DC.
DC's the one that's weird.
Okay. Where it's like Lex Luthor is all of a sudden helping or something.
Well, yeah, because when you beat the bad guys actually on your deck.
Yeah, this one doesn't do that. Okay.
No, your deck
They're
is
dead.
just the heroes. Now you may have several different heroes in your deck.
Yeah.
Because you're playing.
But they're all like it's like your team.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's like your Avengers.
Yep.
All right.
No, it's a blast, and yeah, I'll bring it because it's a great game.
Yeah.
Great game.
I just want to see all the heroes actually.
Yep.
All right. Top 3. My third is Eldritch Horror. Like, I know I spoke up Arkham Horror, but I had a war within myself deciding where these two were going, because Arkham Horror has that nostalgic value of, this was my second game, this is what kind of also kickstarted it. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to pick one to play, I'm going to pick Eldritch Horror. Now, because there's a bunch of content in there, it is it is... I think it's more. It is very much more streamlined. I think it's easier than Arkham, because with like most of the monsters in Eldritch just stay in that area, and you can just be like, all right, well that city's just dead to us, and we just won't ever go there. As an Arkham, the monsters move around so they can block you. So I love both for different reasons. But obviously Arkham didn't make the top 10. Eldritch did at number 3 because like the theme oozes out of that game, and also unlike Arkham where you can throw in every expansion, Eldritch does not allow you to do that. You can't, because they have like now a deck of prestige. Or, I think they're called prestige cards, where you draw one and that will tell you, oh, hey, add the, the Egyptian board now. Or if this god, or if this ancient one you're playing with, do this. So, it's really cool. I also really like the fact that the ancient ones have their own mythos deck. It's not just a huge stack of ones. It's, okay, well, they're going to have a certain number of green, yellow, and blue. Greens are typically easy and most of the time help. Yellows are a little bit harder, and blues are rumors that you have to deal with on the board. They have every expansion actually is strong. Like the latest one that they just did was City of Ruins, which is with I don't remember. It's the worm, ancient one that now starts destroying cities, so which makes it difficult. But you can go in and be like a refugee. I know Chad has played this with 8 people. The most I've ever played it with is 4. 8 would be epic, but it's one of those things that you're a team, but you're not like working side by side. It's like, hey, I'm over here I'm just the politician getting you guys, equipment and something you need, whereas I'm actually the sailor, so I'm, fighting on the coast or something. So just because it's so streamlined is why it puts it up at number 3, and because it's Cthulhu.
Yep.
I think it is the best Cthulhu game that I own. So that's my number 3.
All right, my number 3 is the highest Cool Mini or Not game.
Ethnos. Cool Mini or Not. The others?
No. Arcadia Quest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have been a Kickstarter backer of all the Arcadia Quest campaigns, and it's just freaking awesome. I have 4 different campaigns going right now. One with me and my girls, one with my wife and my girls, and then 2 other ones with other guys. And it's just good old-fashioned fun. It's not cooperative.
Nope.
You have missions to finish the deal. You have to complete a player killer mission, so kill one of the other people, and then you have to do one of the other game objectives.
Do 2 objectives.
Well, it depends on how many people's playing.
Oh, okay.
If you're playing, I think if you do a 4-player game, you have to do 3 things. If it's a 2-player, I think it's just.
Here's the thing. That game is.
Another.
I did a series on that for my channel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that enough time has settled that I do really like Arcadia Quest. But for a while, I just couldn't stand it because I did the campaign so quickly, and it gets really cutthroat and just it's very much it's a Ameritrash,
right.
and very much luck driven, and so Kat hates that game because every time she would move her people onto me, they would just die.
Yeah.
So she never really played, and I'm just like, I don't really know. There's nothing you can do about that, really.
And then Masmora came out, which is in the same world, but it's a dungeon crawl kind of game. But then there was a mega ton of Kickstarter or of characters in that Kickstarter, and then I had, of course, the crossover. So now all those characters come into Arcadia Quest 2. So that, I mean, I don't even know how many characters, playable heroes there are.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's 70, 80, I think is what Vassal said. I think, but I don't know if he was counting Masmora. So.
Is there really that many?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I have boxes and I have the witness search for them, and it's just
I guess you do
everywhere. But yeah, Arcadia Quest,
and they're all different too.
And it's just a simple.
Dice
go out and just do it.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing difficult about it. You just go out and just hit stuff.
That's it. Yep, that's pretty much it. And the worlds are. I mean, the characters and everything is just cute. It's very child fantasy. But the best card, huh?
They're chibis.
Is that what what's?
Well, that's what the Secret Cabal guys, they call them chibis, the big head.
Oh, yeah, that's what they are. My favorite thing about that is that especially through the campaign, the guild build up, how each of your characters gets stronger, and my other favorite thing is Scythe is super OP.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody, and that's another thing with it, they've done really well. I mean, there's some like him, but there's some that everybody is overpowered in a certain deal, because some of them, like the sneaking ability is superb in one of the campaigns.
Where he just run past
him being
people.
able to go through, like, he is like super overpowered in this one campaign level. And you know, so everybody has their own.
Yep, I will say, that is true, because while Scythe, because his thing was if he attacks with a magic spell, they can't roll defense. That is fucking broken, except he died a lot.
Yeah, because he only has like 2 hit points.
Yeah, but how I won the campaign was I finally was able. Because they bottlenecked that final thing, which kind of sucked, where you had to fight each other, and then there was only one path. But I was finally able to get Scythe past there and attack the Lord Fang, and I'm like, here's 18 times he's dead.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. That's Simon's best game.
It's not, but my number 2 is going to be a shock to everyone. It's Talisman. My longest time since forever, Talisman was my number 1, and
now I know what your number 1 is.
You don't know what my number 1 is. It is so Talisman is, like, for me, the epitome of fantasy, and this game gets a lot, like, it just gets shit on. It's one of those things where you either really hate it or you love it.
I like playing it on the iPad.
I don't like it. I don't like this app. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Because I tried it. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Anyway, so Talisman is just randomness of the game set in fantasy. There is a bunch of content to this game as well, a bunch of expansions where, like, just name fantasy and it's in there. Like, they did a bunch of different themes, like the Ifrit, like that kind of Saudi Arabian, I guess. Expansion where it brings in that, where it's now they're like destroying, terrain and stuff like that. Then you have the Four Corners, the Woodlands, which is all about, fate and chance. And you have the Dungeon, which is really difficult to go through. Then you have the City to be able to build up your characters, and the Highlands, which is where you can go to get a bunch of money, and also it's kind of difficult to get through. It was my first game that got me into this hobby. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons why it stayed so much. But honestly, I have so much fun every single time I play this game. And it's like, because you can be super OP, and then by drawing a card or rolling a die, you can die. And that's just that. Yep. But never, like, 60 plus characters that are all different, and just stacks. Like that's the quest, like, deck. On top of just a bunch of different cards, to get items for. Like, I'm actually about to do a top 10 reasons why I love Talisman. That was a request someone wanted to see, and I was like, yeah, that sounds fun for me, especially because it was number 1 for so long, but I had to finally be true to myself and realize that nostalgia isn't everything, but I couldn't put it any lower than 2. So that's my number 2, Talisman.
All right. My number 2 was my number 1 in the top 10 games. So,
that we did about a year ago?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
5 Tribes.
Oh, wow, okay. Shit.
5 Tribes is my number 2. It is still one
Was
of
that
the...
really your number 1?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It's still superb. I just bought I just got for Christmas the newest
The new one,
expansion, so I haven't tried it yet.
Niqua or whatever,
The one that adds the where you can take back tiles and take control of tiles.
I didn't know what it did. I just got it.
Yeah, you can actually take control of tiles away from people now and stuff. It has more interaction in it.
Cool.
Stuff. So I don't know a ton about it, but wonderful game.
It's Mancala, the game.
I've taught it to many people, and then people have went out and bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm one of them.
And
even though I was really bitter about one particular aspect, it wasn't enough for me to not buy the game.
But yeah, it's just a blast. It's
what he did was he omitted rules to aid him in the win that game.
but anyway, it's what Saudi I guess
Saudi Arabia.
The Arabian.
Let's go with Arabian. Yeah.
Deal, and you have all these meeples, and you're picking up a pile of meeples, dropping them off, and then whatever last one you drop off, you pick up all that same color, and then you do with those meeples what they will. Some of them let you buy stuff in the market. Some of them give you money for the tiles around you. Some of them let you get white ones that can help you get gens.
Yeah.
There's ones that'll let you kill things. There's stuff that'll the purple ones in one of the expansions, the artisans, they will let you get treasure type things. I mean, there's
it's a very simple game.
Don't play it if you have somebody that has a lot of AP though, because this game will drag it down because there's so many things to look at and so many
options, so many possibilities.
And,
unfortunately, it's not a game that you can sit there and be like, I know what I'm going to do next turn.
Right, because it can change. Yeah.
Oh!
Now, I've never played this game with less than 3 people either, so I've never tried a 2-player to see how that works. But, no, I mean...
To make it less AP, I think you need to have 2 or 3 potential. It's like, okay, well, if that's what I want to do. But he's probably going to do that too, because he's probably looking
at the same
thing.
There's a guy that I game with here in town that I've actually joked about getting a chess timer. And saying, okay, it's your turn.
There's a lot of games I can go with that, yeah.
But anyway, there's going to be a lot more said about that, but it's Days of Wonder, super game, tons of content with it, and it's just wonderful.
All right. And finally, number 1 for our top 100. My wallet just fell out. What's my number 1?
Well, you haven't said one big game that I thought was going to be your number 2.
Okay.
It has 2 expansions, and you own my copy.
Yep. What is it? What is it, Brad?
Scythe.
It's Scythe. Scythe is my all-time favorite game, and I'm actually going to get to play it tonight. Very excited. Just came out with a new expansion, Wind's Gambit, that I haven't played with the new expansion yet, but if anything about this game comes out, it's only going to further dig into that number 1 spot. So, let's take Talisman for example. It used to be 10. I used to give it a 10, and I said as I play them more and as I play more other games, I will read. I don't just keep it. No, that's what it was. No, because roll a move. That's fucking old and broken. It's a busted freaking mechanic. I have no complaints with Scythe at all. This game is just so brilliant and streamlined that it's just I'm just enamored with it because it's it's an engine building. Well, not really an engine building game, but it's a resource management game on this beautiful world. The game that they took art and made a game around that, which normally is oh, okay. And so you have that aspect, but then it's well, can we fight each other? You can. You don't really want to a whole lot, but you can. You'll go in and steal people's resources, but it's negative consequences because you don't kill each other. and if it's their their workers, they'll run away, and then you actually lose popularity, because they're like, that guy fucking sucks. Like, really, we worked so hard for all that. You have secret objectives that you're trying to meet, and the whole point of the game is trying to get 6 stars, but even then, that just ends the game. Then it's whoever has the most coins at the end. And so the factions all play completely different. They all have their own ability, but then you have another board under it which pairs up your actions. So when you do something, you choose a different column. There's typically 4 columns, and then you do the top action and or the bottom action. So if you can get resources, then you can do it, but then there's the upgrade system to where you can make things cheaper. Man, like, I absolutely love this game.
I see it going higher up on mine too, because I sold my Kickstarter
I have it.
edition, but then I just got it for Christmas this year. Back again.
Yep.
So I will.
The 2 factions in that one expansion are awesome.
Yeah, I'll be getting that too.
Then the Wind's Gambit I can't really speak for, but from what I've heard and seen, it looks like it's just gonna make it more. Because I could see Scythe for some people getting stale after a few playthroughs, but that's what the Wind's Gambit fixed.
Right.
It's utter perfection for me, so that's my number 1.
All right.
Netrunner.
Yep.
Okay, I was like,
it's pretty obvious.
I'm like, okay, because it wasn't your number 1
no, it was
last
my
time,
number
so
2.
I didn't expect it to be your number 1 this time either.
It and 5 Tribes flipped.
Do they?
And the main reason because doing that top 10, five Tribes, I just put it up above it because it was. But then when you sit here and you do this whole 100, and you're really kind of like with your Talisman and stuff, it's like
you start to be more
like
objective.
Netrunner is like, I've played so much Netrunner in the last 4 years that no other game I've played as much and have put as much time into and have enjoyed any more than Netrunner. Whether it's competitively or just playing. The thing that really pushed it up this year was the Terminal Directive expansion came out.
That was the campaign,
the
right?
campaign
The legacy one?
Yeah, that came through.
Did you ever finish that?
John and I have like 1 or 2 games left. But anyway, but it was getting kind of stuck because you just battle back and forth as the corporation and the runner. But then they came out with this Terminal Directive campaign expansion that has a story to it. So you pick all you use is the core box. None of the other cards in the whole thing.
That's right.
One core box, and the cards that come in there, you pick your faction, you play the game. And then the story progresses depending on how you do stuff. You sticker cards, tear cards up, blah, blah, normal legacy junk. But, and it creates its own story. And that put a lot of fuel back into the game for the longtime players and stuff.
Right.
And then they just came out with Corset 2.0.
They
just came out with that a couple weeks ago, kind of reorganized stuff, there were some cards that were overpowered that they took out of the game, and the evergreen
now, does that make your whole collection obsolete now?
No, because what they did and what was smart is because they did the rotation, so the first 2 cycles of cards were going to be rotating out. But what they did is with this new core set, they got rid of the powerful cards that were in the core set, and then they put back in the best cards from the first 2 cycles to form the new core set. So if you own the first 2 cycles, I don't have to buy it. I don't have to buy it at all. They threw some new art on some of the cards just to try to get people. But if you own the first 2 cycles and you own your core sets, you just don't use the cards that in the first 2 cycles that aren't legal anymore.
Yeah.
So I know I don't have to buy anything else for mine, but it's a good point to get people in.
I did like this game. The one time you and I played, I knew I was going to get slaughtered. I was like, because in my mind I was like watching you and John play. I was like, he just doesn't run enough, and they're like, maybe that's what I'll do. It didn't work. It's a good balance.
A very elegant deal because when you play it competitively, you play 2 games per deal. You play as the runner, and then you flip sides and you play as the corporation. So you have to have 2 decks ready for the whole thing, and you just, I mean, it's your typical LCG stuff, but it's just awesome. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just good stuff.
Awesome. Well, that is it, everyone. That was our final segment for the Top 100. I hope you enjoyed. This segment very much. We'll most likely do a Top 100 again next week. No, okay. Again, probably next year in 2018, if everything goes according to plan. Already things are constantly shifting.
Gosh, yeah, I could play a bunch of stuff.
the board game, world, I guess, for lack of a better term, is just constantly evolving into something great. So look forward to that. But let us know what you think of the top 100 in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to support us, you can go ahead and click that link to go to my Patreon account. If you have any suggestions, you can go ahead and click the link in the show notes below to go to my Board Game Geek list. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.